Yeah, it's stuttering now.
All right, you guys. Hey, everybody. This is JD Glasscock. As you see, we are rolling through some episode 1 technical difficulties. It's the way it goes when you start something. We will nail that down and get it all tight and ready to go. But I welcome you guys to the inaugural episode 1 of Stormcrow Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. I'm here with my co-host Mark Potter. And then my name is JD Glasscock, and then that's Lola, very cute Lola, baby girl Lola. We have 2 amazing guests tonight. If you're interested in it, as I said, we're going to get this all dialed in. By next week, it'll be all good. Next week, we have an amazing show. I'll talk about it at the end. But this episode 1, if you find it interesting, if you find it something beautiful, artists talking to artists, dreamers talking to dreamers, and you own a business and you want your product advertised, this would be the place and space with which we would do that. It's going to, all shows will be archived on YouTube. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, feel free to send a message to the Stormcrow Live page. And we'll get to you as soon as we can. In addition, in the future, we'll have a way for fans to donate and all of those kind of things. But without further ado, you guys, we have some amazing guests tonight. Who do you want to bring in first, Mark?
Let's go ahead and introduce Kim Dembrosky.
I'm sorry?
Kim Dembrosky.
Yeah, okay. Let's bring in Kim Dembrosky, who's an artist, an actress, amazing spirit. She is an ER nurse. How do you do that? You roll from actor to going and patching someone together in an ER room. In addition to that, she has a lot of beautiful foundations that she works with to help people all over the place. So let's bring in Miss Kim.
Really?
Hey, Kim.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, we're going through our first episode hiccup tech difficulties. So
that's okay.
We'll have it down by next week. But Kim, it's awesome to have you. You do a lot of benevolent things. You do a lot of great things for a lot of people, not even counting what you do in your job, which is basically, anywhere from a boo-boo on the toe to, something more severe as an ER nurse. But your aspirations are acting and your passions, even your acting tends to kind of go towards your passions from what I've seen. But it's amazing to have you. I'm going to bring in Eric as well. And then we'll get into talking about both of your projects and what you got going on and what you have in the future.
Awesome.
Let's bring in Eric Bush, a guy I've known for over a decade, who's a filmmaker, actor, and has put in a couple decades into his craft of doing his team. And he's a very beautiful spirit. So let's say hello to Eric Bush. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
There's the man.
All right.
Hey guys, it's Eric
What's going on,
Bush.
Eric?
We've known each other a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Eric and Kim have recently met through this here.
That's right. How's it going, Kim?
Yeah.
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, and this show is all going to be all about trying to bring different spirits, and not only it gives us an opportunity to shine a light on other people and their artistry and talent and all that kind of stuff, but it also allows them to interact with each other and meet new people. So
right.
it's a beautiful thing. Now, first of all, okay, Kim, so you recently, I think you said you were working on a documentary having to do with your studies. You take 100 kids a year?
Yeah, we take about 100 students from usually about 20 to 22 different countries from all around the world. And we go and we live in a Buddhist monastery for about a month.
That's dope.
Yeah, and you document, right?
Yeah.
So how many years have you been doing that?
This last summer was the 6th year in a row.
Oh my lordy! Now,
Yeah.
not only is that something cool that would probably be really cool to watch once you edit it up and put it out there, and just the experience people are experiencing something that's probably so far outside of the realm. But I love how you've incorporated your love of helping people along with your passion, which is acting and film and that kind of stuff. It's an awesome. I mean, that's a big thing, huh, Eric? Man, she takes a bunch of kids and lives in a monastery for a month.
Man, for real. I guess if you love kids or whatever, and you want to show them something different, then I guess that would be definitely quite the experience for them. And then I'm sure she would probably learn a lot from those kids as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure the first question they have is, "How's the internet service there?"
Oh yeah. Surprisingly, there's usually pretty good Wi-Fi in China.
Oh yeah.
It's less than monasteries. And I say kids, but most of them are 20 to old. So
but do they are they allowed to use Instagram and all that stuff while they're there, or is it because I would imagine it's almost like you're trying to make sure that you're disconnecting in a way. I would think if that's what you're doing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean technically you can use it if you can find a signal.
I mean, you don't want them to have a mental breakdown. Come on, man.
No, yeah.
Plenty of them be going mental with like, no saying sending a selfie on Facebook.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can't
we
imagine.
do like a whole week of silence. So during the week of silence, where there's like no internet, no anything, no.
Is that when the Buddhists teach them how to brew beer or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure, of course.
Now, Eric is right now currently working camera on a Discovery Channel show. Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Discovery Channel show for Discovery Channel called Street Outlaws. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually already had some people when I said it comment going, "Oh my God, that's my favorite show."
Wow, that's good.
You're running camera. You can see he's not only an actor. He not only can do his own film, but the guy is like can throw a camera up on his shoulder and run camera A or camera B on a film or TV.
Man. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. I love it. It's been definitely a blessing, and especially with this show, because I'd always known about like street racing, but I didn't know anybody close to me who was like a legit street racer. And once I jumped on this show with these guys, man, it's been awesome, man. It's been an awesome ride, and learned a lot about cars. Now I can do more than just change the tire and change the oil now.
The show with the the popularity of Fast and Furious and all that kind of stuff, man. So.
Oh yeah.
That those films blew that world up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely those films definitely brought more attention to street car racing, because it always had been an underground type thing from what I've learned. And now, man, it's trust me, man. Everywhere we go and we race, and it's an amazing turnout. The fans are like bananas.
Well, here's what I noticed, man. Heavy Star Trek and sci-fi affecting actual military and scientific applications, like many scientists who have come up with stuff have said they went that direction because they watched Star Trek, the original Star Trek.
Yeah.
Not Picard, okay? Don't be saying Picard when I say Star Trek. I'm talking Kirk.
Exactly.
Kirk. It inspired many scientists to go in that realm where they actually discover and create a technology based on it. So, I mean, media and film and songs and music, all those things have always had a heavy effect on people all over the board. So it's always an interesting kind of dichotomy, those connections, especially when you look back and reflect on things. But now you haven't done modeling in a long time, but you used to do that. And then acting, have you done any projects in the Dallas area in the last maybe year or so?
No, not as far as
Kim.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
In DFW, that's Dallas area. I'll be hitting you in 2 seconds, brother. I want to hear about other thing, that pilot you just did. But Kim, have you done any recent projects in the DFW area?
Right now, I mean, I haven't done anything. I think the last thing I did locally was the Merry Scary Christmas last year. lately I've been working on this documentary, filming this about our travels and everything in Dallas. But also, yeah, I mean, looking at auditioning for various film projects and getting involved, in acting or behind the scenes or however I can.
Well, I'm sure it's pretty hard to do though. Also, when you have the career you have, I mean, that's got to be pretty time consuming. I mean,
it's kind of fitting that in.
I mean, because that you are nurse. I mean, are you guys on call like a
lot? We're not on call. I mean, we usually work 7 to 7. But it's one of those jobs that, when you work a day, you're that's pretty much your
lasts for like 10 hours.
You're kind of done after that. So it's
I hear you. It's a heavy stress oriented environment and situations that you.
It definitely can be, yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure art is a good channel for that. It's a good way of you kind of releasing some of that, I would say.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, that's one of my favorite things is to get home and get into the studio and have a beer and just kind of relax and let whatever emotions or experiences or whatever come out on the canvas, and that's kind of my latest thing.
Hey Mark, do we have our website for art?
Yes, we do. Actually posted it inside of the beginning.
Yeah, let's get that website link up there where you guys can go check out Kim's art and support her and all of her endeavors.
Yeah, it's at it's on the it's on the live showing, the post itself. So it's kimdembrosky.com. If anybody's interested in looking at Kim Dembrosky's art.
Yeah. And if you'd like to see it in person, I have a piece in the permanent collection at the Motti Museum in Dallas.
If you're in Dallas here, we have a lot of people that are probably all over the place. But if you're in the Dallas, feel free to check that out on our website. And we'll leave this will all be archived on YouTube. And when we do that, in the description of the YouTube, we'll put everybody's links and all that kind of stuff and ways. This is going to be forever up unless YouTube crashes. Ever up on YouTube, allow our artists to actually utilize it and all of that kind of stuff for their own promotion. Now, Eric, I'll come back to you. I want to hear about your pilot you just shot where you were the lead.
Well, this was it was probably the last project I did, but they're actually last I checked, they're trying to shop it around right now. Well, I was one of the leads. It's basically a show called Lost Detroit, and it's about these group of friends in Detroit, and they're regular working class people, and they somehow end up getting tied into the underworld, and now they're stuck and they're trying to get their way out. So
basically being they get somehow sucked into the criminal world.
Yeah.
But there's Joe Blow schmoes that are trying to like figure out how the heck do I get out of this. Exactly.
So basically that's what it's about, and so hopefully, man, we'll see what ends up happening with it. If it could, if we can keep some momentum going, and hopefully they can get it out somewhere.
You never know what's gonna light up, man. I mean, the key is just creating.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep creating, keep doing it.
Exactly.
Making it.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know that, and this might be a connection back to Kim too. Eric, and especially in the large part of the beginning of his career, did a lot of spiritual projects. And I know that was a big thing for you, especially in the beginning trajectory. You were I would say probably most of what you were doing was a lot of it was Christian projects and stuff along.
Yeah. I did a Christian film called No Greater Love, and it was a great group of filmmakers that I got to work with. They were out of Santa Clarita, California, and it got like some distribution.
North of LA, for those people not in LA.
Oh yeah, north of LA, yeah. So it was received really, really well, man, and it has like crazy, I guess I would say following behind it, and it was a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll get to do some more stuff like that in the future.
Well, I mean, come on, man. You already are doing what most people spend a lifetime trying to do, which is whether you're making tons of money or not, you keep the living out doing what you.
Yeah, bro, let me tell you, it's a blessing. I think I've probably done way more than I anticipated or that I thought that I would probably do. And it's weird because with us, we're so like in the moment, because once we do something, we're trying to move on to the next thing, and to everyone in the outside world, as you guys will know, they probably don't understand it, but we understand it as artists, so
well, the same thing. I'm waiting for funding for my feature, but I'm like, man, I'm twiddling my thumbs. I can't be twiddling thumbs. So hence
exactly.
the topic, which I think has been a dream of mine for a long time. The ability
exactly.
to
Exactly.
And I have enough street cred now where I could do it, and it'll find some fans and success. And then secondly, I picked up a novel I started like years ago, and I'm going to start working on writing that. So yeah, you're right. Always keep yourself churning. Wouldn't you agree with that, Kim?
Yeah.
Kim, when you say that, you're always churning stuff, getting stuff, trying to figure out new paths.
Yeah, I mean, that's me. I always have like 4 or 5 different things going, and you just.
Well, you have to, because you have almost no time with that job, so you got to like be able to juggle multiple things to be able to like get anything else going on.
Yeah. So you just kind of.
I mean, believe me, if I had to go to the emergency room, I'd want to be looking at you, as I'm dying from like me falling in my drunken and Mark is another guy that is has aspirations to film, and he's also working on his own book, and he was in the military. Kudos to that. He served his time in the military, and he's actually going to be the first AD, and along with a significant other, second AD on Blade and Blood. So it's
nice.
Great to get artists and people that are hungry, and that's the key. I think is success in this world. Supporting artists, and it relies on surrounding yourself with people that are reliable and hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and because a lot of people want to be famous, want to do this, want to do that, but they don't have that hunger. They don't have the drive. They don't have any of those things going on. And to me, even more so than talent, you can have all the talent, but if you don't have the drive and the work ethic and the ability to keep pursuing and creating, and if you fall down, get back, fall down, get back, and keep going. You don't have that unless you're, uncle's name is Scorsese. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have great difficulties in trying to accomplish something, right, Lola?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah.
Anyway, okay, so now, Eric, why don't you tell us? Actually, let me go back to you for a second. Kim, why don't you tell me what got you into acting? What was the passion was that something you always did, or was that something that grew? Or
that goes back a ways. I homeschooled during high school, and my mom made me read Shakespeare, and I hated it until I.
Were the only thing I read, and I struggled
until I saw Leonardo DiCaprio do it, and then I loved it. So
the songs were good. The plays were kind of hard to get through because of all the.
No, I joined a young actors Shakespeare company at the local theater. I did that. I loved it, and that's actually why I became a nurse. Was because I said this is what I want to do with my life. I need a full-time career that's going to be reliable. So I took some time off and did that. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just.
But during the entire time, you've always kept your ear open for doing your art stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, otherwise you just kind of die inside, that's what keeps you going. So.
Well, and you're also a good-looking woman, so I'm sure the modeling probably came around now. Yeah, I mean, a woman, see, it's different for a woman than a guy. Like a woman has to be hot. She can walk down a major city, and someone's gonna walk up and go, "Oh my God, you'd be a great model. Let me take photos of you." You know what I mean? A guy could be really good looking, but it's not gonna be as quick as like being thrown in their laps as
a little bit different. A little bit different.
And then also the cool thing is if you have talent and you do stuff like modeling, it also opens those two worlds are very closely linked. So if you have any acting ability, it'll usually provide you some opportunities through doing stuff like modeling. Eric, what about you, buddy? Did you come up the tech side, or was the tech side after the art side?
Well, what happened was when I was a kid in Alabama, I would do like little plays and stuff like that, and did them through high school, and then I ended up moving to Seattle, and then it was the same thing. I ended up doing like an industrial film.
I mean, you connected at first because I was in Seattle and you were from Seattle. I think that was how we.
Yeah, because I moved from Alabama to Seattle, and then when I got to Seattle, I was taking, I was still taking theater in school and stuff like that, and after I did like a couple industrial films for Boeing, and then I think one was for Microsoft.
That's about the only thing up there.
Yeah, exactly. Born in Microsoft, and so I did a couple of those, and then what's weird was like after high school, I was talking to my grandmother in Alabama, and we were just talking about filmmakers and all aspects of filmmaking and stuff like that. And I get off the phone with her, and then a month later, I get this box in the mail. I had no idea. I was like, "What is this?" So I open up a box, and it was a it was a Super 8 film camera. It was a film camera though. So it was awesome. And so I was just like, "Yo, well, how the heck I use this?"
Now you're forced to learn how to use it.
Exactly. And so I figured that out. And then after that, I shortly bought a video camera as well. So I had the Super 8 film camera. Then I also had a High 8 video camera. And I was always the guy that everybody wanted to film something.
No matter what was going on. Try to find someone that owns an actual film camera.
Yeah.
It's literally insane.
Exactly.
Now, nowadays, some of the digital can do that grainy look, but when digital became popular, it could not do that grainy feel. And if you were in love with that grainy look of old film, then you wanted to get your hands, even though it's really expensive, all that film, you wanted to get on shooting with that because it gave you that old school.
Exactly. Yeah. So
grain kind of look on which I love that look. To be honest with you, I love that.
Me too.
I just don't want to deal with pain in the ass and expensive.
Because you got to process it. Yeah, you got to process it. And make sure it's not exposed and all that kind of stuff. But it was cool. I got to learn that, and then
it's good to go.
Oh, exactly. And then when I moved to LA, my buddy was like, "Hey man, you always got a camera. Do you want to be a camera assistant on a TV show?" And I was like, "Well, I haven't used ENG. I haven't used those type of cameras." And it's like, "Man, you should probably know. You probably figured it out." So I got there, man, and I did that show. And after like a couple of days, I was like, "Oh wow, this is cool," because I was kind of knowledgeable of it somewhat. And then after a couple of days, I was all into it. And then that just led from one thing to another. And then next thing you know, man, I started shooting shows. So
that's very beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's very beautiful. And have you done DP stuff on a show?
I've DP pilots before. I've been a director for pilots, and then I've done music videos for stuff. But I've DP'd scenes, where we were doing the show, and then the DP, either wasn't there, or I had to fill in for him. But as far as me being the DP for an entire show yet, that I haven't done. No.
Yeah, no, you know me, man. My noir lighting, that's my thing, man.
Yeah, man.
But let me dance back to Kim for a second, man. We let Eric's charming old self over there, like talk it up. Now, Kim, what do you think of this dynamic? Do you like it that we're all on and all conversing with each other and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, this is great. This is really, really awesome. It reminds me of the I've always talked about creating a group based on the old Paris salons, you know, where different artists and actors and musicians and everybody kind of got together and shared ideas. And
yeah, that's what this is. I mean, it's basically what I used to love is, and not the current one. The current one I don't like, but when Bill Maher Roundtable originally started, when it was on TV way back when, like 15, 20 years ago, and it was just couches, and he would bring like a comedian, a writer, an actor, all that stuff, and put them in a little circle, and all those people interacting about like real life stuff, and I always thought that was amazing.
I think it's awesome, you know, when you don't have to be so scripted and you just, you know, it's just people kind of intermingling.
Well, people from different aspects, so it's interesting to see their different perspectives on stuff. We're going to do that actually in round 2, which is coming up here in a minute. Mark, in about, I'd say about 8-9 minutes, can you throw up like just take a 5-minute break for everybody, then throw up imagery and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I'll give you the heads up when we do it. Now, Kim, what is some of your future goals that you want to do? What are some of the things that besides, we already went over your documentary, we know you're still working on that, but what are your future aspirations or future goals you would like to get done?
I'd really like to get involved in the Dallas art scene, the Dallas film scene. Get more well known. I'm fairly new to this area. At the same time,
I'm right with you.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard about it.
9 years and moved here to help my mom. So I hear you. It's hard though because a lot of beautiful people in the DFW film scene, but they seem all very separated. They don't seem very cohesive.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of
like one little group over there, one little group over there, one little group over there.
Right.
It's not like LA, even though LA has its own challenges too. You have a lot of people who talk a lot of crap in LA.
Yeah.
But you have, I think, more of a at least somewhat cohesive film group or film connections that you can do. Because half the people, if they're not shooting their own film, they're working on actual film sets, TV and film in some capacity, whether it's background actor or crew or makeup or hair or whatever it is. So, in LA, you can actually make a living on television sets and film sets. So I think through that and the all year round shooting of that, it allows a central focus to connect everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I what I'm trying to do, that's what we're going to do. Shoot the Blade and Blood here, shoot a feature here. What I've seen, to make a actual film community grow, what it has to do is it has 1 or 2 or 3 shows or movies shot there that take off. That filmmaker has got to have a hunger to stay there and keep shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Perry and Atlanta, that's kind of how Atlanta kind of grew and took off. A few films that were good. Perry fell in love with shooting there, built his own studio, shot most of his films there. Then you had Walking Dead go there, and then you know what I mean. So then you have then all of a sudden other companies went, and then it feeds on itself. So then
I mean, you just have to kind of take a stand and say like, this is where I'm at. You know, you know. 150 years ago, there was nothing in California. It just came about, you know. So there's
keep pursuing that because it's now there's some film groups on Facebook that probably would help out. Dallas Filmworks, Road something. I'll link them to you, but they're great. Dallas Film Community. They're great little sites to connect with people, and they're always like little tiny projects being thrown up. Looking for people. It'd be a great way to do that, but that's a great aspiration. So your main focus is you want to get involved in your painting and the art scene and the acting. Okay, now let's bounce over to Eric. Eric, what are your future aspirations? What are your upcoming in the next couple of years things that you want to accomplish?
I would say I would definitely want to. Well, I got like my list of stuff I want to do. I definitely want to direct. I want to direct a film. So I'm definitely looking in to see, okay, what type of project would I want to do, and so that's probably like my next focus is getting something, doing it, and completing it. So that's my next goal, and then I want to do a narrative, as something scripted. So that would be my next goal.
So are you going to maybe try to cut your teeth on a short film or something like that? And
Well,
or you want to go directly into a feature? I mean, you don't have a background to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I like I said, I DP'd a short before and some music videos, and a lot of the work that I do is camera as far as docu style goes.
Handheld. You talking about handheld?
I think, yeah. I think I can jump right. I think I can jump right into it. I kind of want to jump right into it, but at the same time, I don't want to, mess up something. But
just don't handhold over everything, man.
What'd you say?
Like if it's two static people doing a talk,
yeah.
Don't be having the camera shake all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I just got to figure out what it is that I would want to do and how I would want to do it. But that's definitely on my list of.
So directing is your main.
Well, that's obviously the next thing that I want to do, major thing that I want to do for sure.
Well, if I could ever give you any advice, let me know, man.
I'll definitely come to you, man.
But I'll go try to find you a good director that can help you, man.
Nah, man, your work is great, dude. I one thing I admired about you, man, is like you hit the pavement running. You weren't waiting for anybody. You were there. You say, I'm gonna create my own stuff. I'm gonna do my own projects, and all your stuff is great. I love it, and it's definitely it's definitely a genre for your work that's out there. I mean, audience, I should say. There's different audience out there for the work that you put
but self-effacing humor is key, man. And I with the last name Glasscock, I came out of the womb with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm like, I learned real quick. I'm like, if I laugh at my own name first, and then it's gonna laugh with me instead of at me.
Well,
so
hey, my last name is Bush, so hey. So I get it.
Hey, there's a detective show in that, dude. Glasscock and John.
There you go, man. That's the show right there. That's
right there, man. Anyway, you guys. Okay, so we're gonna take a little 5-minute break, you guys. Mark is going to throw some stuff up from our lovely guests, photos, or I don't know what kind of goodies he's got, but he's gonna do it for 5 minutes. We'll be back in 5 and 5, and my lovely guest can take a relax for a second.
All right.
As the show climbs in popularity, I'm sure people are going to go back and watch previous episodes and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then feel free to use it as your own promo. If you want to send people to see your interviews. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, bring us back in.
We did.
All right, welcome, guys. Welcome back to Storm Crow, Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. With our guests here, Kim Dembrosky and Eric Bush. Now we're gonna start. Let's start off with some easy ones here in the beginning. Kim, as an ER nurse, what is the best thing in that industry that you love, and what could be better?
Oh man, that's a really big question. I really, really, really love meeting new people. No one really wants to be in the ER as far as families or patients, So it's a big chance to help people and be there for them, and make things a little bit easier, even if you can't solve everything for them. The worst thing about it, it's difficult when it's, in the big ERs when it's short-staffed, or you're, short on equipment, or just, there's a lot of stuff coming in. Last year, the flu was really crazy, and we'll see how this year is. But for the most part, it's a really rewarding career.
Okay, now I'm going to throw Eric the same kind of question, and then we're going to go into general subject.
Okay.
In film, what is the thing you love most about the film industry, and what are things you think the film industry could improve?
Oh man, I would say what I like about it most is it not being monotonous. Like every project is different than the last. You know, so it's not like we're sitting there punching a widget in a hole for 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day.
So it's perfect for people that are ADD.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is the ER.
Yeah. So I would
Where most artists are. Most artists are
oh, yeah.
ADHD.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I
mean, I certainly couldn't do a sit down 9 to 5 job. I would want to, you know, I think I tried it once when I was like 20. I went to a school for computer.
It's torture. It's total torture.
I lasted like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now what are the things you think could improve?
Oh man, you know, I would say probably, hey, what you guys are doing right now, as far as there being more networking opportunities. You know, I would say that, you know, different ways to get out and
access,
network.
which is what I think. Access.
Yeah,
access,
more access
based on merit.
Yeah, because
instead of based on nepotism.
Exactly. Because man, there's a lot of talent out there, like all around the world. There's a lot of talent.
Yeah, but it's like Hollywood almost has like a steel fortress surrounding it.
Yeah.
If I walk up and say, "Hey, this is my cousin," and that's someone important, they'll open it up right away.
Yeah.
Come up and say, "Look at all this brilliant stuff I've done."
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. They're like, "Oh, that's great, but do you know anyone?"
Right.
Yeah. So that's how
I agree with you. I think access is what you're probably referencing to. Access for people based on merit, based on work and their skill and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's something. But I think it also is something that is being improved upon right now with stuff like Netflix and festivals and now Hulu and Amazon and everybody else is jumping on board. And the reason Netflix they're kind of pulling back on doing that because they're now merging with corporations. But when they first started going with its original stuff, they were literally sending A&R reps to festivals, not even like big festivals. They were sending them to, you know, Joe, you know, I mean, larger festivals, not the ones like 2 days, but they were sending A&R reps to these festivals, actually looking for people just based on talent, looking for projects that they just thought were good.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think we would love to see more of that, and I think we will. Okay, let's go into a general discussion. What do you think the role of spirit is, or where is it in this world currently, and where do you think it's going, and where would you like to see it go? And we'll start with Kim.
It's spirit.
I can say religion, but that kind of boxes it in to one thing.
Yeah. I'd say for me personally, I'm hugely influenced by Buddhist culture.
How did I know that was coming?
Yeah. I mean, you know, but they have a long history of a partnership with art, and so it's not that unusual.
Well, I agree with a lot of their concepts. The concept is like, you know, do unto. It's basically the concept of action, reaction, and you know, if you put good out there, good is what'll come back.
I mean, there's a lot to it, you know, but as far as my experience, you know, in the monasteries, there's you know, a huge amount of discipline. Most of the people that, you know, we have a talent show every year, and we don't even have to really ask a whole lot about that because, you know, 90% of the students who come to us have some sort of musical or artistic talent. So it's something that kind of draws each other, and that's really what drew me to that in the first place, is how many artists and filmmakers realized who had crossed paths with Buddhism in the first place. So
well, they're inherent in their belief systems. Spirit spirituality and creativity are tied, and Buddhists are very much, as opposed to iconic stuff like a lot of religions are focused on.
Right. And the ones that meditate all the time are they're very playful, you know. So that's what I kind of try to emulate in my art and in my filmmaking and everything, is this kind of playful, experimental, in the moment, that kind of vibe, you know. So,
and where would you like to see it go? Where would you like to see spirituality in the world in general go?
Oh shit. That's a really big question too.
That's what we do here on Storm Crow.
Right.
So the big meatballs down the pipe, man.
Where would I like to see the spirituality in the world go?
What kind of pasta people put with it?
I really don't care what religion or spirituality people are, or if they have none at all. I just would like people to be nice to each other, you know? And
well, maybe more accepting. So you're saying what you'd like to see is more accepting of other people's religions.
Yeah.
Or beliefs instead of judgment. I can get behind that. Okay, Eric. Okay, so we're let's go back to the beginning of that, Eric. What is your viewpoint on where spirituality has been and is currently?
Well, I don't know. It seems like we probably had some type of energy shift or something. I don't know if more people are either behaving badly or is it they were always behaving badly and we just
have cameras there now?
Yeah, we just didn't have cameras. But what I would really would like, regardless of someone's as Amy was saying, regardless of their religion or not a non-religion, I just think everyone should probably say, okay, how do I treat people better? How do I do the right thing for humanity itself? And I think at the end of the day, that's what it really boils down to. Is how we're going to treat each other.
Yeah, the easiest precept to understand, and seems to be hard for everybody: treat others as you want
to be treated.
Unless you're into S and M, then maybe not. But but you know, like I think it's directly and inversely related to the more poverty and struggle you see.
Yeah.
The more crime you're going to see, the more
of course, without a doubt,
the more everything you're going to see. The more, because the majority of our population is middle class and below. I mean, that's a majority of it.
Exactly.
So the more economically challenged they are in life, in my opinion, the more you're going to see crime and
exactly
food
and then you have this such disparity in, like you said, if you got like either a middle class or high class, and you got the poor and you got the poverty, and if you take those two scenarios, and everyone has their own experiences in those individual groups, so their perspective is going to be a little bit different, and so that tends to lead to, I guess, you know, either disagreements or arguments or misunderstandings on why people behave the way that they behave, because everyone's in that bubble, no matter where it is. So, you know, that has a lot to do with it too.
Well, and when people, I mean, from relationships to children to just life in general, when people are being challenged financially to survive, that creates war zones, stress, fights that would not normally be there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I've seen relationships, people that have ended straight up fighting over money.
Of course.
Coming in, or not a lot of it, whatever it is. I always say that adds a lot of stress and detriment to, especially when you're talking about a majority of the population that fall in those categories. You know what I mean? So you're always going to end up having, and from an ER nurse Kim standpoint, when there's more economic woes, you tend to see more violence and stuff like that along those lines. Don't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, and we, you know, historically see a lot of our population are people that don't have insurance, that don't have primary care doctors, you know, so
that should be a right to everyone. We're the only industrialized nation in the are effing
I agree.
that doesn't just
Hey,
provide
you know,
medical,
can-
not because
can I-
you can't afford it. It's
here's what I
because so many
understand.
people make
It's-
money on it.
Exactly, man. But if you don't have anything else, man, you want your health and your strength. You would think that would be like the first thing that you would want. It's your health,
Yeah.
whether it be mental, physical.
Yeah, I think to me,
or whatever.
everybody should have a right to health.
Exactly.
I think that
Exactly.
should be
Yeah,
a
you
part of being a part of a country.
And everyone should make that a concern about themselves, though. That should be, you should want to be healthy. That's what. So I don't get it. You know. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
I just think like I have a guy I know. He makes a decent living. He's a kitchen manager at a restaurant, and he makes probably like, I don't know, 60, 70 grand.
Yeah.
His entire savings of him and his wife were just wiped out because his son had to have a spleen or whatever out.
Yeah.
Because he did what normal 11-year-olds did and climbed something and fell and they had didn't have very good insurance, so like literally it wiped out their entire savings just fixing what every kid does. I mean,
Exactly.
they can have any kid just doing normal kid type stuff, especially a boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, to me that kind of stuff should never happen. That should, you know, this guy works 50, 60-hour weeks, pays taxes. That should have never transpired. So I agree with you guys. I don't know how was that me? I'm trying to figure out how we went from spirit to.
Well, we're not as bad as, you know, there's countries out there where someone like that would just die, you know, like if you don't have the insurance, you can't pay, you just die.
Well, I mean, but in an industrialized nation, I think we're the only major country that doesn't for its people. I mean,
it can definitely bankrupt you, you know, like screw up all kinds of stuff, you know, which is crazy, you know, just for one or two visits, you know.
Yeah, personally, I don't think they should be able to put medical bills on your credit report. Also, that should be. It's not like I had a choice. Oh, you know what? I can't afford it. I'm just going to keep my broken arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's
not like you made. It's not like
angry, malformed, Hunchback of Notre Dame look going on.
Right.
And it's not like that's some type of leisure purchase, like you buying a car, or you know, you wanted some shoes or something and you didn't pay for it. I mean, it's like, damn, it's your health, you know. But you know, not everybody sees it that way, man. So
you can't really do comparison shopping either, because you know, if you're an emergency or anything else, you know, you can't like ask the prices ahead of time.
Let me go to the next hospital that's gonna be cheaper for me.
Yeah.
I just
like
don't get sick. That's
it's a hornet's nest, and the only reason we don't do it is one simple truth: too many people make a lot of money the way it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's just the way. That's the main. That's the truth that politicians will never admit to. They say we can't afford it, but there have been numerous studies that show it would be actually cheaper for us to put on everybody on a Medicare than the way we do it now. We would as a government spend less money putting everyone on a one-payer plan insurance than the way we do it now with all the grants we hand to county hospitals and all that kind of stuff. So it's not that. It's the other hands in the cookie jars are making way too much money for them to ever want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Ever want
I just don't, and because of that, I just don't see them turning around or giving that up. You know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then also they always like, if anyone talks about socialized medicine, they always like grab the country that's got like the worst form of socialized medicine and use that as like the example of.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Forget like there's 20 other countries where it's actually working. You know.
Yeah. Totally. Okay, so let's go on to something else. What is your guys' favorite genre of film and why? Kim, start.
What do you say, Eric?
Man, I'm thinking.
Is it comedy? Is it horror? Is it?
Comedy. Comedy, romantic comedy, especially.
Yeah. I would say for me,
so
it's comedy.
freaking hard to come by, you know?
Yeah. For me, it's comedies.
Yeah.
Well, what was your genre?
Mine's comedies. I like comedies. That's probably like my favorite. Yeah. I like to laugh.
So the Big Lebowski's high up on your.
Oh, Big Lebowski is hilarious. Like Big Lebowski.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the best comedies ever made by the Coen.
Yeah.
Although the Coen brothers are very hit and miss. They're very like brilliant film or something you get bored in like 10 minutes and stop. But when the Coen brothers are on, they are on. No Country for Old Men was brilliant. Big Lebowski was brilliant. And then I'm sorry, what did you say the genre you like? Was it comedy? Is that what you said, or was it drama?
Yeah, like comedy, especially like romantic comedies. I don't know
if Kisses
good these days, but you know, like I grew up with the whole like Tom Hanks and
Did you ever see Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore in the 101st Kiss?
Right.
Yeah, to me that's a great example of a romantic comedy. That's a brilliant film. It had some serious moments, but it had like a lot of comedic and cute moments, romance and all that kind of stuff. Now, I don't think I'll put the effort out to wake up to someone every morning who doesn't remember me, but still, it was a great film concept. What would you say is your, in the last couple of years, the best film you've ever seen? Now, it can be a film that you didn't watch before. It's older that you've only seen in the last.
That's a really, really good question.
Yeah, I told you, man. Those are the kind of meatballs we throw down here in Storm Dreamers, man. We throw that spatula up, hit that Italian meat down the pipe.
I mean,
I don't know why I'm going with the meatballs. Glasscock is pure Scottish, baby.
Oh man. Well, I haven't seen a lot of movies lately that I really like.
It's not hard to understand. There's a lot of so many, and even if there are good ones, it's hard to kind of get to them because there's so much there's so much not good. Nowadays, remember when I'm a little older.
Culture has changed.
When I was young,
right.
Every movie that came out, there was only like one movie
exactly.
Came out.
Like there were 10 movies, and everybody saw the same 10 movies, and that was it, and you just...
Yeah, and nowadays you got like every 4 days, another 10, 12 films are like popping up.
Yeah, you have like all the crap on Netflix, on Hulu, on...
Like, am I supposed to believe Rotten Tomatoes, or am I not supposed to believe Rotten Tomatoes? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's what it comes down to. You, Eric, like, have you seen any brilliant films in the last 2 years?
Oh man, last 2 years, I don't know. The last 2 years. Let's see. I think to me the movie I probably, and this is probably maybe a little bit older than 2 years, but to me, I thought The Revenant was brilliant. Revenant was brilliant.
Oh, with DiCaprio.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
You like Bear Lovin'?
I do. Man, I thought that movie everything about that movie from, storyline.
I saw it, and I understand where you're coming from. I thought there was a lot of brilliant writing. I thought there was a lot of brilliant acting. I thought there was a lot of brilliant cinematography. It was a little slow for me.
Oh, okay. All right.
It took like a long time to like get going.
So? Yeah.
Because it was a character study, really. I mean, there was a little bit of action in there, but really the film was a character study. It was a Western character study, which is not the usual genre you see character studies in.
Yeah.
But that's basically what it was. It was a Western character study. And those are the things that win awards. I mean, if you go back in history of Oscars, a lot of the films that win awards are character studies. The speech, a lot of ones where there's a lot of talky.
Yeah, I just think and I guess that's probably why I like it so much. It resonate with me. I'm studying the characters. I'm watching the DP, the lighting. I'm watching all the cinematography was amazing. So I think I connected with probably both of those aspects of the film the most. So
it's kind of like Pan's Labyrinth for me. That's like a master class in noir
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It is a little slow, but it's great writing, great acting.
Yeah.
And if you want to know about art lighting and using shadows and lighting, I mean that film is probably like the number one.
Yeah.
Which shows students that want to understand how that looks when it's done right. And a lot of people say that the award he just won for water, what we just did, that he won Oscar for something about water or something. Del Toro won for the first time, best film, best director, whatever. The Color of Water, is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't see that.
Color of Water, okay. And a lot of people think that was like an award they gave him because of the award they didn't give him for Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, so maybe
you
that's
know how
what it was. Yeah.
Sometimes works, it's like delayed, like, you know, you're a new kid, because that was when he was somewhat of a new kid when he did Pan's Labyrinth, but that film was so epic brilliant. He didn't get it. They don't, a lot of times they don't give the new kid, especially when it's the director, give them the award. Or at least they have in the past. And a lot of people were saying The Color of Water, which wasn't in his own catalog, the strongest of his films. He got it because of people were like, man, this guy's made so many great effing films, starting with Pan's Labyrinth, that we need to give him the bone this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and this is what we do Storm Pro. We do bones and meatballs, and we do Lola occasionally. Like, look at there's Lola. But okay, so we talked about movies. We talked about our own careers. We talked about your projects. We talked about that. Are there any sports you follow?
Not so. I don't follow.
It be like Norwegian tree climbing, if that's what your thing is. I mean,
I like hockey because it's like the perfect sport for anyone with ADD. Because
well,
you sit there, you let your mind wander, and like 5 minutes.
That puck around, man.
What the hell's going on? Okay, there's a fight. Okay, you know, and you're good. So
wait, there's an octopus being thrown on the ice. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, it's unique. I'll tell you that. It's the only sport I know where, like, in certain situations, they throw an actual octopus on ice.
Yeah.
The sport. So, yeah, no, a lot of people like hockey. I think what their difficulty has always been is televising it, because it's so hard to follow the puck. The action's so fast and the puck is so small.
Yeah.
I think they tried one year of like putting a digital glow on the puck so that people could follow it easier. I think it's one of those sports, kind of like baseball, where I love going to a baseball game. I have trouble watching baseball on TV.
Oh yeah.
But I have so much fun when I go to a baseball game. You know,
I like being at the game, but I can't.
Yeah, so hockey, I think, is one of those sports where a lot of people love going to a hockey game because it's so serious and people drinking and having fun and all that kind of stuff. And you're a little bit more up on the action as opposed to like a football game. You're like, even if you have the lower seats, you still feel like you're a mile away from like what's happening. Okay, what about you, Eric? What's your dealio as far as sports?
Oh man, probably football. The most college football and NFL football. It's probably I keep track of the most. Alabama is my team for college, and then Seahawks, my NFL team.
Seahawks, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So
I used to work right across the street from that stadium.
Oh, you're right centrally. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I used to work at a restaurant bar, Elysian Fields. It's literally right across from the stadium.
Oh wow. Okay. So you see all the crazy. You see all our crazy.
On Sundays you get nailed. We had like 500 people come at once, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but and then still, I think one of the loudest stadiums there is in the NFL.
Oh yeah. They get pretty loud up there, man. They get pretty loud. They really do.
Yeah, although I went to one game once there, and we were in such the nosebleed seats that literally, if you stand up, you feel like you're about to fall 10 rows down.
Oh wow!
The incline of the seats is like so insane that I'm like, I'm like, good thing I'm not drunk yet, man. I'd have been like tumbling over people like in the next 2 seconds, man.
Right?
Like certainly anybody that's got vertigo should never go to that stadium.
Yeah. You gotta watch out for that.
They'll be eating it. But so here, why don't I, Kim? What is something you would like to converse about that you're passionate about that we haven't already talked about?
Oh, what have we not already talked about? I mean, we can always talk about more art.
More meatballs. I'm just trying to give you a little. I'm just trying to give you a little freedom, man. Stretch those wings.
No, I mean,
we've talked about a lot. I know.
Yeah, we have. We've really covered a lot.
Now I know you have a significant other, right? I think I saw that in your photos.
I do. We are. It's a little personal. We're separated at the moment.
Okay, we won't touch that. I didn't. You know, that was like that was a meatball right into the gutter, man. I'm like, where'd that one go? But you know, romance. Believe me, I've been single for like, you know, I think the last time I had a girlfriend was when they discovered fire or something like that, man. But I hear you. But sometimes in life, whether it be friends or romance or
I mean, life happens. You know, you just kind of go on and you do your thing and you enjoy it.
Yeah, and who knows, man? Maybe you'll throw him a bone and let him slink back in.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, I'm looking out for you, buddy.
Well,
yeah.
Shape it up and work it in. Anyway,
we'll see how it goes. But no, in the meantime, I mean, I'm really, really enjoying just being in the studio and just creating and just kind of doing my thing, you know, and letting everything combine and doing I do a lot of writing and stuff, you know, just for myself and
very cool.
A lot of reading.
I think that's good for anybody, and especially any young writers that I meet. I always tell them, like, start with poetry or type stuff, because what that teaches you, it teaches you how to dense language. It teaches you how to try to say more with less. And you can get that down when you, if you ever decide to expand out into prose or screenplays or whatever it is, it's going to strengthen your writing in those realms. Because what is the best dialogue? It's saying memorable things. It's saying more with less that are memorable. Same thing with prose or novel stuff or whatever you're talking about. So I always tell them that's a good thing to start with. Like, go find one of their favorite poets and try to emulate a style or something like that, and see if they can do that and get that down. I come from so I started off as a slam poet, whatever, almost 30 years ago. And that was before internet. That was before all that stuff. So you had to actually go to like bars and get in front of drunk people and perform where you got an immediate visceral reaction. It wasn't like this Facebook stuff where you just show it to people that are your buddies that are, you know, are going to say you're brilliant. You know what I mean? It was like literally you were in bars with drinks in your hands, and if you were like literally, you better hope you're good, man, because they don't got a lot of restraint in letting you know you ain't good. But no, it's. I think internet is a good thing and a bad thing. I think internet has helped so many people have a voice that didn't have a voice, and for that I think it's beautiful. It's brilliant. I think it's getting opportunities for people that would never otherwise have those opportunities. I think it's bad though also, and I like you guys are doing this. I think it's bad also because you have a lot of bullies that now can hide behind haters and bullies and people like that can hide behind an anonymity of like a computer screen where you know they would never have the balls to say the stuff they did if you were looking them right in their mud. You know? And yet they feel. And I know a lot of kids get their feelings hurt, and all of those kind of things. So here, let's start. We always start with Kim, so let's start with Eric on this one. Eric, what's your opinion of the goods and bads the internet?
Well, I would say definitely the what I noticed as far as like the good a lot of people who have to either put a product out, or maybe they have some music or film or some type of art or something. I think that's the pros of it. You're able to get the exposure and put your product or your brand out there. And the bad side is everyone can do it, and you got to filter through the madness to actually find something good. I mean, I think that's good and the bad about it. The bad part is,
noise, yes.
Yeah, the bad part is, man, like, okay, they let anybody do it. So, I would say that's probably the pros and cons of having the internet. And there's a lot of misinformation out there as well, as far as good information too. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Kim, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely echo what Eric is saying. I mean, I love that there's so much access to music and videos and just what everybody thinks. It's awesome, but at the same time, there's like so much crap to filter through, just to get to the good stuff. And I kind of miss that, back in the day, everybody kind of listened and watched the same thing. So there was this kind of like community built around that. So it's really different. It's kind of a lot of work to find out what's
now people will say, like, have you heard that new rapper 3 Jack M? And you're like, man, is that like a shoe?
Right. It's overwhelming. It makes you like, just I mean, I remember buying a cassette or a back in the day, and
yeah, and everybody knew who you were talking about. It doesn't even matter if they liked that band; they knew who you were. This is back to that multitude of like when we were kids, you go out, you could see every movie that came out every week. So it's just
exactly.
So much compared to.
And that might be
also the positive, because that means people are getting opportunities that do deserve it if they wouldn't have gotten 30 years ago.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So okay. So what I'm going to do is I want you each to do. We'll start with Eric, but I want you each to do. I want you to look in that camera and tell the young you out there some advice. So let's start with Eric.
The future me?
No, the young you. Go look at that.
The young you
watching this show or will watch this show that sees himself in you and maybe wants to follow a certain path. So give advice to that young you.
Okay. All right, Eric. This is what I would do, bro. Listen more. Take it all in. Try not to talk as much. Definitely listen to your mentors. Always study your craft, no matter what it is. Always study your craft and stay on. And don't get distracted. And invest your money more. That's probably what I would tell them. Yeah.
All right, now Kim, let's see you. What would you tell your young self?
What would I tell my young self? Believe in yourself. Go for your dreams, and your life is gonna move a lot faster than you realize. So, don't hold back. Just jump in before you're ready, and just make it happen. Meet people and have fun.
Yeah, believe me, I'm already 95. It goes by quick. Holy cow, dude! I'm 95 and still don't need a walker or a loop. Like, holy cow! I'm challenged to the gods, I think, in my daughter old age. So I hear you. It's very this has been an amazing journey for me. This has been something. It's cool, and I'm so happy you guys are my guests. This has been a dream of mine for probably about a decade, and I almost did it like 4 or 5 years ago. And then the guy I was going to do it with right at the last second that was going to do the tech stuff completely flaked out. And then it just so made me depressed about it all. I just took it to the side and then focused on, I think, shot a short film or something like that and did something different. And then all of a sudden I just had a month and a half ago, I just had a poignant moment of clarity and said, hey, you know what? I think it's time now. And I always say that things happen in the time of creation when they should. Now I've shot, back then I had shot maybe 3 films. Now I've shot 14 films and won more awards, and I think bring a little bit more validity to doing something along these lines. You know what I mean? And a little bit more wisdom and a lot more gray hair and all that kind of stuff. So it's beautiful to finally get this thing off the ground. We're going to do it every day. Ready to shine. Even if I'm shooting my big feature film, Blade and Blood, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to still tell the guy doing the scheduling Thursday night
Yes.
at 8:30 p.m. I need to be back home.
Yes.
Talk show, or if I'm still on set, I'm going to be in it for an hour and a half in my trailer with my laptop.
Damn straight.
So it's been very beautiful. We'll learn as we grow. We'll get better. We'll add little doohickeys here and there, make it look prettier and all that kind of stuff. Get the tech all dialed in. But that's just the way it rolls. I am amazed that now Eric has been, me and him have known each other for over a decade, but this is probably the longest we've actually looked at each other's mugs.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been beautiful, man. He's a good looking chap who's got a good mug. So it's photogenic, man. You know, yeah. I don't want to get you wrong, people out there. I'm not trying to ask Eric out on a date. He's just a good friend of mine. And I don't go that way anyway. But if I did, Eric would be at the top of the list. Let me tell you.
All right, I'm flattered. I'm flattered, man.
What'd you say?
I said I'm flattered.
No, thank you. Yeah. Now that's just kind of. Should we do like a pause moment for just a way uncomfortable moment? Should we do like a deep breath and like say like Buddha chants or something like that? Like I don't know, man. Where's my meatball? I'm gonna go get a spatula.
We can say Amitopo.
Hey, and Kim, it's been amazing to meet you. You helped us out. We had someone kind of like fall out at the last second.
No, I'm honored to be here. This is especially the first episode. That is amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, things always happen the way they should. You know, I always like people want to be in my films, but then they flake at the last second on an hour-and-a-half talk show, and then they wonder if they're not in my films. You know what I mean? So I try to go through life, do what you say what you do. And if real life happens, I get it, but then communicate immediately. If those things are always taken care of, then I always have understanding and I always have patience. It's always when people, you have to chase them around, they're not saying what they're doing, then I have a lot less patience and understanding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But things always happen the way they should. It's been a beautiful evening, and then we got Mark Potter over there on his little Darth Vader mic over there. I'm waiting for him to start breathing heavy.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I'm digging this shirt too. That's like lightning and stuff, right?
Well, it's
yeah, there you go. Yeah, Superman. And they all that because that was from when he died, right? He had the blue and white thing going on.
Yeah.
Shooting lightning and stuff like that instead of being the normal Superman. That lasted about maybe 3 issues before they had so many complaints of the and miraculously back to normal. But yes, for you people out there, we are all nerds and we know about comics and stuff like that, which has actually become in vogue and popular now, right? Superheroes and comics and all that kind of stuff. That's why I grew up as a kid. I loved playing Dungeons and Dragons. I loved comics. And I was good at sports, but that made me a nerd in everyone's eyes. And now all the things that were nerdy as a kid are now like in vogue now.
Yeah.
Or like the popular kids play Dungeons and Dragons. The popular kids read comic books and all that kind of stuff, which is a beautiful thing to see, man. But anyway, thank you both for a beautiful evening. I want to thank Mark for helping us stumble our way through our first episode. Tech again. If you want to, if you're a company and you own a product and you want to be a sponsor on the show, please send a message to our Facebook Stone Crow Live. I'll have them get back to you. now would be the time to join in. Next week, we'll have a way, if you want to just donate to our cause and help us with our tech issues and making stuff better, we'll give you an opportunity to do so. Next week, I have amazing guests. They are the lead actors, the male and female lead actors of the first film I ever directed of mine that I wrote and directed like 5 years ago, and it'll be the first time, or 6 years ago, it'll be the first time since then that we are all face to face. Adam and Vicky Dolly. So that's going to be an amazing show. Again, I want to thank Kim. I want to thank Eric. Big love to both of you. I wish nothing but beautiful dreams. That's everything you do. Guys, love you too. This is Storm Code. Dreamers talking to dreamers. Send us on out, Lola. Come on, you're getting paid high wages. All right, that's it.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.
Yep.